the questions and answers. I welcome all the three procurement team gurus joining me on the stage. I will also take a seat, but Kristjan Piirsalu, the head of procurement, the chief procurement officer, as well as Aiga, that we just met, and Mārtiņš Blaus, the procurement also manager. And there were several points that came in, and I understand that we have also two key technical engineers, or let's say the gurus from the engineering team also joining online. Both Andrejs Mislevich, who's the deputy head of systems and operations at RB Rail, and also Ģirts Sabuls, the project manager for the ENEP project. but there are different questions that I have noted in the Slido session. I will invite colleagues, if there are any fresh ones, please inform me. But let's jump in. And I think to start with an easy one on the general language in Rail Baltic procurements. And I will invite Kristjan to comment, and perhaps also in the wider context of these common procurement standards within the Rail Baltic project in its totality.
So thank you. Yes, regarding the project language, of course, we have project governance in place that has been put in place by the three countries and the respective organizations delivering the project. And as per the governance, the official language, project language is English. Also for procurement, of course, we deliver the documents in national languages as well. So if we take an example of for instance, the design tenders that were launched previously, then of course we had the documentation available in English for the international tenders that we launched. And then of course we had translations also into national languages of the documents as well. So that is our usual standard practice, also as per the common procurement standards and guidelines. And for anybody that is not aware for any reason, then the common procurement standards and guidelines is the overall general procurement policy for the entire project, which overarches the project in terms of the requirements that we apply.
Good, thank you very much. And no, still, I noted one question that I will address to Mārtiņš. It's still on the noise walls. Yeah, I understand that there's an audience expecting for clarity on the noise walls. Yeah, and I think we mentioned that, but let's say there is still a question. What happened with the noise walls, or what's the plan for the noise walls?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm really glad, of course, that such questions we are receiving, because we are working hard currently on establishing the technical specification, because noise walls involves as well information from the consultant, from the design, and these solutions must be then implemented, incorporated into technical specification for the noise walls. Therefore, at this moment, we are concentrating to develop technical specification where most of the market may participate with their production. Therefore, we at the same time we are doing market research, market consultations with the manufacturers. A couple of weeks ago, we held a series of the market consultations where everybody could apply for. We gathered information, but that's not yet limit. In case we will find out that there are gaps to establish the specification, we will of course open another round. Either we will collect the information over the correspondence. So currently we are working, and what can I tell? In the current plans, we have scheduled for end of May, June could be the date when the procurement could be announced.
Great. I think that definitely clarifies the situation. Aiga, one horizontal issue, and I think all of you can jump in, but I will invite Aiga to start. It is on how we determine the value for a procurement. Yeah, actually any, yeah, not only CCS or any the specific ones that you discussed, but let's say how we determine this value. And also I understand that that's a good point and a good question from the audience. What happens then if the planned amount is exceeded? Yeah, perhaps you can start, and then Kristjan, Mārtiņš, if you would like to add something.
So it depends. It depends on the subject of the procurement, because if it is a construction, then the design phase is already there, and the estimated values are in the design. If it is a service procurement, then there could be situations where there is, as Mārtiņš already said, for noise barriers, there is market consultations. So we gather the understanding and also some information related to estimated values from the market also. So there are no one particular way how this is happening. Also, our technical team is producing these estimated values, considering similar projects as well. So different type of situations and procurements. So, and if it is exceeded, again, there could be situations where we clearly state already in the procurement documents that there is a cap, so it cannot be exceeded, because this is maximum amount we can get financing for, but then it's clearly stated. And also there can be situations where it exceeds our estimate value. However, we proceed because we understand that this is feasible for us, and that value we can justify also to the financing sources. So again, the situations are different.
But if I, yeah, sorry, Kristjan, if I may add, in such cases where we see the bids landing above our estimate, it will be analyzed. We ask for these detailed financial proposals, breaking down the cost and finding out what's been the cause for increase what we haven't planned before, and there has to be reason. Of course, we are not willing to buy anything under the market. Their agreements are more cooperation agreements. Therefore, either this is a risk, either this is something that must be then, and we try to tackle this as well for the procurement with the negotiations, asking second bid when we iron out these risk conflict situations that we may foresee, if that's the case. Yeah.
Perhaps if to add to my dear colleagues on how we start the entire process and what's kind of maybe the starting point for getting the budgets in place. So we have a process for applying for grant funding. And we have this budgeting process. Of course, our way of budgeting and estimating does not very much different from any other company. We of course put in place the plans. We look at the first round of market research already is done at the time when we prepare for financing. We take a look at reference projects and what could be the maximum extent of the scope and so on. And then we do another round of market research and estimation before we go actually to procurement. And there could be differences there as well. So then, as colleagues explained, obviously we go into the detailed assessment when we get the proposals. However, what happens indeed if some prices are significantly over, we have to assess, of course, whether we can proceed. Can we make savings elsewhere? Is it a procedure where we can apply negotiations and perhaps relieve some of the issues? Is it possible to reduce the scope? Is it possible to redo something? So there are multiple opportunities, of course, and it depends very much on a case by case. As Aiga also said, it depends. Yes. And it does really depend on what the specifics is of a particular procedure, and then we go into the specifics to tackle it, to resolve it.
There are two questions that I would like to address to Andrejs Mislevich, the Deputy Head of Systems and Operations, who I understand that we also have online. Andrej, are you here with us? Yes? Excellent.
Yes. Hello.
We see also you. I will address two questions, and while on procurement there is always the touch of engineering, especially in the procurements of Rail Baltic. And there are two specific points and questions that I would like to pass to you, that they are coming from the audience, it's not me. So first one is commissioning inspection service for CCS. Yeah, what is the plan for that? And the second one, I think it's not directly linked, but still on the control command system approach, let's say the strategy. What's the plan for the decision on the control command, or let's say control centers across the 3 Baltic states? Would there be one? Would there be several? And what are your thinkings from the systems and operations team?
Well, yeah, thanks for questions. I would like to start with the second one, that in fact we are going for the single interlocking system, single ETCS system, and single TMS system. What would mean that it would be a one product or one application, which will allow then to implement it on each section of the Rail Baltica. Regarding the architecture of the TMS solution, please consider that we are going slightly behind ENA subsystem and the concept design, which concept design for CCS, which will be used as a reference solution during procurement of the CCS subsystem. This is currently under development. In fact, we as well discuss with the implementing bodies of the states what would be the most appropriate location or solution for them. And what we strongly believe that so we shall differentiate that there is the one system. However, this system could be managed from different locations. Yes, the technology shall allow it, that the management of the line could be performed from different locations. And in fact, we need to have one main OCC and at least one backup OCC. And in the context of the project, currently we are looking as well at the solution which allows or provides 2 backup OCCs with the functionality that would allow to manage the traffic on the entire line. But as I said before, the reference solution which will be prepared for the procurement and will be approved by implementing bodies before we go to the procurement, it will come till the end of this year.
Great.
Regarding your first question, putting in operation or commissioning, inspection, and maintenance. I'm not sure that I understand 100% the question. Sorry. In principle, we target to have to procure solution, CCS solution, which we will evaluate from the life cycle cost perspective. So not only looking at the initial capex, but as well evaluating the cost associated with the maintenance of the equipment during the entire life cycle. This is how we will approach the procurement.
Clear, Andres, and thank you very much. And I think that of course, we are happy to have also the CCS engineer with us. Yeah, a strong partner, supporting the project team to get both to the procurement of designs and builds and design and build, but then also during the delivery of the CCS system. But then as we have the fantastic opportunity, and also Ģirts Sabols participating, the ENE project manager, and here from the engineering team, perhaps I have let's say a specific point for you on behalf of as representing the client. So we are planning to launch one of the largest procurements in Rail Baltic, design and build for any system. So the blood system of Rail Baltic. So what are your expectations from the suppliers? Or let's say, what is the ideal supplier, or what would you, as further user, or let's say direct manager of the consultant, what would you expect from the ENE design and builder, yeah, in the future?
Thank you, Ģirts, for. Yeah, of course, the main purpose of us is to actually, as Andres mentioned, is to implement the ENE subsystem electrification of the Rail Baltica within most best value from the life cycle cost. So, and also the aim is to not look only on the capex, but overall life cycle of the particular ENE subsystem. So it's plus 50 years from the starting of the operations. And for us, of course, it's crucial to have this actually experience, as we don't have in Baltic such a especially large scale project experience, and we need to bring very strong partners actually with strong joint ventures, and I actually also with the local support also, because it's also the construction, you have to deal with the local legislations. And specifically, we need also, as Aiga probably mentioned, that we are kind of pioneers. We are going for the quite relatively new technology, which is static frequency converters. And we need also these partners actually bring this knowledge, which is quite new, but they have to establish actually strong team to have this knowledge to build this 2x25 SFC, because it will be challenging for everyone. This will be the probably largest project in the world for this technology. So this besides the besides like usual things what we need to implement such a scale projects, this kind of specifics would be very beneficial to have the contractors already start to think about how they can gather team for this technology, because the experience in the market is also limited, I would say. Yeah. Thanks.
Great. Thank you very much. Back to the procurement team, and I think we are wrapping up the event. But there is one specific question that I see also from here, is that reflecting, or that's an invitation, a proposal, invitation to reflect on the requirements related to the participation threshold in the market at least 1 month before publication of any procurement. Do you understand what is that? What is the proposal, and do you have any comments? Any of you colleagues?
It depends what the threshold is meant here. So it's a threshold from the estimated value of the procurement or some qualification requirements. But overall, I think my response, at least to this question, would be in a way that this kind of information can be published when the procurement is announced, because before that, this is confidential information, and all have to start from the same point with the same information. So the publishing point is the one where we deliver this precise information. In the market consultations, we can inform about the subject matter in more general lines, to point out maybe some details, but not as in such detail as in the procurement documents after we are announcing it.
There's also, and I think that is a point, at least for myself, that I take away not only from today, but let's say all my experience in the project, that indeed follow, especially for the procurements, truly follow the information on the project webpage, railbaltic.org. Yeah, we are using different tools to approach the industry, also the procurement newsletter, the general newsletter through embassies, but also the concentrated information, including on specific consultations, on specific, let's say, subjects, is also being announced, and then there's also that feedback. Yeah, but then there were also several questions. For example, I am producing the noise walls were mentioned. How the potential or suppliers, how can they present, or let's say what they have, yeah, how great they are, and whom to speak with? What is I don't know, the phone number or email address to send the information, or actually to start the contact? Kristjan, perhaps I can address it to you.
Thank you. Yes, I'm sure Mārtiņš could also answer it very well, as he's our manager to sort of our face, so to say, regarding the materials tenders. However, yes, we do have the contact details. We have 2 email addresses. One is a general procurement email address. One is the procurement, or it's spelled procurement@railbaltica.org. The other one, more particularly for materials, is supply@railbaltica.org. So feel free to get in touch and provide any proposals and submissions to us. Briefly going back also to the previous question regarding the threshold, if the question was about sharing information earlier with the market or providing more time for the market to prepare, then please do note that we do have the procurement plan published on the railbaltica.org website. You're able to see it from there. We also undertake market research, and we also, on a case-by-case basis, sometimes in a larger sort of an event, we undertake market research, market consultation exercises. And all this we do, and on occasion as well, where we see a valid reason to do so, we do provide extensions, or we provide a longer period for providing applications or proposals. So in that sense, this work is something that we do, and the considerations are something that we provide. So it's always good to have a proactive approach from the market and really come and propose something to us, or come and ask these questions in light of the procurement plan that's available. And then also this provides us with the ability to take something into account that may have been missed. Maybe some particular company has a specific issue that somebody else hasn't thought about. So this will help us then. Yeah. Mārtiņš, do you want to perhaps add?
Yeah, thank you. And specifically on the noise walls. And I want to praise the question, of course, and give something back that please then submit your inquiry for such presentation. We do accept those. We don't respond any separate case, right? We are collecting this information. There is no threshold where we gather the information. We see the importance of the matters that raised by the manufacturer. Then we organize these briefings with the companies. And we don't organize specifically with one or another. We do it as you wish, of course, independently, one-to-one. Either we organize one briefing with the many, and then you can ask questions similar like this event, but then specifically for the topic of noise walls, fence, or we will do soon, I believe, end of this month, about the ballast, definitely, because we have to relaunch it, and that's another message.
Good. So, as minimum, I expect a fantastic competition for the noise walls. But colleagues, I think we are wrapping up. There are 2 specific ones that I cannot ignore. One is on will there be a physical global forum? Like we had in the good old times before COVID. And I can reply that we have listened to the expectation from the industry to have regular updates where we are and what's coming up. Yeah, because as you see, there's the progress is on quarterly basis already is significant, and I can say that not for the first half, but the plan would be towards the end of the year, or in autumn, to have also a physical event. Fingers crossed that nothing happens and we can stick to that plan. So yes, but until also then, we will try to stick to the plan and commitment to provide regular update. The next one should be something around June, July. And then the last one is, I think, also one of the reasons for perhaps an extended webinar of today is whether the geopolitical situation has any negative influence on the Rail Baltic. Is it quite questioned at all? And I think that while, of course, there are several and many uncertainties and not all the answers can be given, today the speeches of the Baltic partners as well as the EU and Madame Trautmann reconfirming the increased importance of Rail Baltic also at EU level, and that being the best guarantee for you, the suppliers, to participate in this extraordinary number and of size and nature of Rail Baltic procurements starting in the coming months and throughout the year for you to participate. That, I think, is the one of the main messages also of this webinar. So stay tuned, stay safe, follow up, yeah, and we are there to support also you, and let's keep this glorious project moving forward. So thank you very much for all the participants. The videos will be available also after the event in the project webpage, railbaltic.org. And yes, may the force be with us. Chin chin.